Have you tried? And you go, listen, asshole, there's something going on. There's copper wire.
Trust me, I'm not calling India if I haven't already turned it off and turned it on again.
Right.
Tasha called India. I don't know why we're just using India, but that's who it is. She called India for like a 3-hour phone call for some Kohl's cash points that she was like owed or something.
So listen, I got this ring that was $1,400 for $140.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 times my order got canceled. So 2 times I called back and I spoke to customer service and I said, listen, I want to place this order again and you need to give me the original price. I did waste 3 hours of my life doing it, but it's a beautiful ring. So
but you got
I'm
it.
happy
You
with
got it though, right?
I did.
Good.
It just took
and
a few
you had
tries.
to put them through the ringer.
Yeah.
Too, because you're like, where's my all I want is my fucking ring.
The ringer. Let's start the show. Hey everybody, we're here with Kane Holloway. How are you, man?
I'm great. It's good to be here.
It's so good to see you because we just did our stand-up mimosa show, which you killed it. Every comic was great, right?
That was fantastic.
Wasn't that fun?
I loved it. I want to keep doing shows there.
Let's do it. I'm going to do it like I want to do. Yeah, I mean, it's the perfect little sandbox for stand-up. We probably had 30 people in the audience, and you couldn't fit another person.
Mm-mm.
And it was good. And then everyone's done by 1:30 in the afternoon.
Dave was walking on sunshine when we left today, weren't you?
Oh, and the best part is the thing that I like the most about producing this show is it reminds me of my social chair days from the fraternity where like I know this is gonna be super douchey, but just because we created green mimosas, which for people listening, just go to the SAP's Instagram because I saved them in the highlights. But if you add blue curacao, I think it's called. Blue curacao is a liqueur, and when you add it to OJ, it makes the blue in the orange green.
Green mimosa.
Green
Happy
mimosa.
St. Patty's.
How great! And I know you don't drink.
That's okay.
But is it a problem for you to be? You're a comic. You have to perform.
No, I don't give a shit. It's a problem for other people that I don't drink. Oddly enough, you find that
they get weird about it, right?
People cannot handle it. Like and it's just so funny. It's like all you need to do is either you can blow past it like I didn't say it, and we can go on talking like normal, like we were before you found out I don't drink. Or they're like, I'm sorry. And you're like, fuck are you sorry about?
Why? I don't want to poison myself.
You know what's also great is like no one ever thinks like, oh, maybe he just doesn't drink or doesn't like it. Everyone assumes there's a problem. Now, granted, they're right. I had a problem, which is why I had to stop. But that's still like, why do you jump to problem? Why can't it just be I don't wanna? You know, like you don't say the same thing if you offer me heroin.
Almost like it's not socially acceptable to just not want to drink.
Right.
Like you have to have an excuse. Everyone always has an excuse. No, I'm driving. I'm DD. Like, oh, I'm on antibiotics. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
she doesn't drink because of Lyme disease, so she doesn't even not drink for any fun reason. It wasn't like she just had a great time in college, right? But it's also, I mean, like I drank this stupid fucking blue liqueur, orange, green mimosas, and I felt like shit. We had to watch a movie afterwards so I could like get rid of my hangover. But it was so great. This was 6 hours ago, so I feel like I'm good now. I don't drink. Dude, I probably have 4 drinks a month. What are you looking for? You drop a blueberry?
I think so.
This is why we don't do blueberries, Tasha. This is why we don't do blueberries. Now she's looking for a blueberry in her dress.
It's fine. Boone will find it.
What I think is hilarious is right before we started, you guys were bitching to me about each other as if one of you wasn't here. Which means, how long have you guys been together?
5 years.
Today is our anniversary.
Hey, congratulations.
We invited you for therapy.
That's
now,
great.
that earlier part will be on some version of this podcast. I'll make sure.
That was
I
going?
like to warm up with a bitch. We get couples who listen in the car together, and I think it makes couples feel like their problems aren't as bad.
Well, it was actually, whose joke was it? I'm talking about couples talking shit about other couples. Like it really is a bonding experience.
Oh, it is. There's I think you have to have friends that you don't like together, and especially if like they have problems, that cancels out any of your problems you guys are having.
You get to judge them.
Well, we have some friends that are super trashy is not the right word because I love them and they're subscribers. Hey folks, how are you, Sarah? And it's not Sarah, I'm not saying you're trashy. Gooch, you're not trashy. I'm saying the real names. It's that you have the willingness to be open about your sex life that we love so much. So we'll hang out.
They like to talk raunchy sex stuff.
We'll hang out with them and she'll be talking about blowing Ben. It'll be Sarah and Ben and she'll be like talking about blowing him. I'm like, this is great. Like, it's good to have friends that are that open about that shit. But it's great because Tasha would never do that. So I feel like when Tasha can hang out with my couple friends or my friends, they're all of our friends now, but like, guys that I've known for a while, I feel like you're able to let your guard down a little bit. Because Tasha's friends, my mom does this with my mom's.
I like uptight people.
But
Okay.
my mom does this with her cousins, where even though they're family, they're all trying to impress each other. Still, there's like this status. I think women do the status thing more than men. Does Kelsey have that with any friends where like you just have to, where like you have to be on your game because she's there to impress people?
Yeah, that's with her family, and then if we're ever like at a social event where it's like we had to go to a Comedy Central party, she was on This Is Not Happening, and I've never been on television, that kind of television. I mean, I've been on TV, don't get me wrong. It was a drunk driving PSA that only aired in Montana. However, I was on television. And, but I don't have any nice clothes because I'd never think to buy nice clothes.
Because you're like, I'm not going to use this.
Why would
I? You buy stuff that you're going to wear every day. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl, and I never have fucking anything to wear when like my friends want to go out and get drinks at
Kane's
night.
talking about not having clothes. You've got a like double stacked closets full of clothes, so you're bullshitting. He doesn't have nice clothes.
I mean, I don't have suits for things like this. So like the nicest thing I have is a V-neck black shirt and like this red jacket. It's like bright red, and I always get compliments on the jacket. And since I'm bald, the only way like I feel like I combed my hair is if I wear a hat that looks good on me. So that's how I go to these parties.
That's how you make it different, nice.
I got a Red Sox hat on, a red jacket, black V-neck. As far as they know, I'm like some really high-end radio DJ they've never seen in person, but have always heard the voice.
You do have DJ vibes.
Yeah.
You know what sucks? This is what sucks for us, because like we love our girlfriends, blah, whatever, all the things you say before you get real, right? But like, and you're a killer comic, and Kelsey is too. I love that you guys are comedians, and you do comedy together and all that. Kelsey gets to put on that red dress on the Tonight Show and destroys people's TVs. It was it was amazing what women can do with the right fit. And, I'm not saying it's like in any way a bad thing. It's like Tasha will go out and put an outfit on. I go, Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking asshole. Like I can't even stand next to you now.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Oh yeah. I know how you feel. I know exactly
I'm just like,
thanks. That sounded like a compliment. I was preparing myself to just get shit all over.
I didn't even think you were listening. You're knees deep in those blueberries trying to. No, but you know what I mean. Like Tasha, you never go to an event and go, my boyfriend's just outdoing me right now with looks. Like women don't have to worry. Like we're not a thought for you guys with that. But we have to like, and I don't mean this in like a jealousy way or whatever. But like Kelsey's on Fallon, wearing like that's the moment. That's the moment for women. You dress. I don't think guys. I mean, yeah, you put a nice suit on or whatever you're supposed to do, but not one person's like, wow, look at that fucking guy's outfit. Yeah, it's just you blend in.
It must be so nice to be known and appreciated for your skills and your talents and your intelligence and everything else instead of just your tits.
Yeah, the tits are there.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
It's like we have to do all that. We have to do our hair. We have to do our makeup. We have to push our boobs up. We have to wear 5 layers of Spanx and suck it all in because we're valued for our looks more than we're valued for anything else. It is a luxury that you don't have to deal with that. Your outfit is the second thought.
There's two different values. You're valued for your looks along with your other things. Like it's not like one or the other.
I would say
it's a big percentage.
I was a fat kid. Okay.
Me too.
And
nice.
So when fat boys especially lose weight, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh hey, I'm kind of good looking when you're not fat. And I was 230.
Jeez.
My sophomore year. And and this girl I had a huge crush on. I was basically in love with her. Her name was Taryn Smith. If she's a listener. And I was in love with her. She was making a list of guys she would date or sleep with in the school, and I wasn't on it. And then she noticed
she had a list of guys she would fuck?
Yeah, date or fuck, who was boyfriend material and who was just fuck material.
An open list.
Open list. And then she was showing me the list, and she would do this thing I hate, by the way. Don't do it. It's he's like a brother to me. It's gross because I don't like when my sister says that.
Yeah.
I don't like when she's like, he's my brother. We got it. Fuck off. I don't need girls putting that barrier. I'm well aware of the fact that you're not into me. I can still have a crush on you, but don't do that barrier thing. Anyway, I notice I'm not on the list. She notices I notice I'm not on the list. And she goes, well, I wouldn't date you because, and then she looks me up and down. and then goes, "'Cause you're like a brother to me." And I was devastated.
That's where you just hit the gym, right? You
Yeah.
just hit the gym.
And that whole summer, all I did was I would eat sandwiches and drink a gallon of water and go for runs. And then I dropped 163.
What?
Yeah.
There you go.
And then everyone thought I was a new kid. My junior year, everyone was like, "Who's the hot new kid?" I've never been considered hot before in my whole life. Never knew that I was a good-looking guy because my parents don't want to give me that, and my dad also. What's he gonna do? You're a handsome young man.
So they're like, "Who's this new DJ we got in this red jacket?"
And so I all of a sudden I was appreciated for my looks, and I felt really good. And then I would date girls, and all of a sudden now I have like a leg up. It feels really nice to have looks, but I sort of lost the thread and my point I was being made.
Well, no,
but
it's good to have that self-confidence.
But you did all of a sudden I was like I had to develop a personality, and now I'm good looking. And now I'm like sucked into this. So but there was something really, really nice about people going like, "Ooh, ah."
Yeah. I went from 5'1" to 5'10" in 8th grade. And I wasn't, my nose I got a big nose, but the body parts came in at different times. So it was awkward. But like I got to a place where people were like, "Dave, like you're not," because I was just like the friend, and that little bit of light shame that you get when a girl isn't into you, like you calibrate yourself with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure. Like there's people that are long gone, like the incels, like there's a group of men that are so unfuckable that they're like giving up. But most people, like, you look at yourself, you reevaluate, you go, all right, I gotta fucking, this isn't working in my 30s anymore, I gotta get rid of alcohol or whatever, and or I gotta you get into stand up or whatever the fuck you do improv, you do something to like have a value that other guys might not have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like carving out your own values, so then people see you as something that stands out. Because if you're just like everyone else, you're not gonna get like fucking laid, or you know what I mean? I don't know. So yeah, I was a fat kid too. I was the friend of the guy Steven. Steven was the guy who got the chicks,
mm-hmm.
and I was the friend. And like I didn't get, and I wasn't like super bitterly jealous, but like everyone looked at him. You know what I mean? You just don't forget that. You don't grow out of that when everyone, that's
Brian.
like that.
Mine was Brian.
Fuck.
Brian was good looking.
Steven and Brian.
But Steven,
Yeah.
because Steven had that support, he lives like in a mountain somewhere, and he doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like he just like he didn't have the fucking I gotta make a Patriots reference, but that Tom Brady, couldn't even be the starter in college vibe. Like that's what I got. Cut from baseball, cut from this. They don't want me, this and that, and like that's the you got to use it to your. I guess the key is to try to like ride that bull without. Being bitter and what, that's the toxic part of LA.
Well, you either learn and like do some changes, or that's it.
Yeah.
Right? You either like find a new way, or that's it.
But Tasha, did you ever have were you ever told no with anything in life? Because I certainly can't tell you no. I tell Tasha no.
I was actually, just now when you were talking, I was thinking that like a few years ago, I decided I had to start saying yes to social events, because I realized that I was like going to end up alone and like I don't know, never leaving my apartment, a hermit.
You mean before we started dating?
Yeah. So I just started saying yes to like all these things that scared me, and I ended up, when you're in LA in particular, it's hard to like string your friends along to do something new for both. It's hard to find a buddy to go with you to places. Mm-hmm. So I just had to be okay with like showing up by myself, and it was terrifying, but it got easier, and I made a lot of friends that way.
That doesn't mean anyone's ever told you no, though.
No, but it's the same idea.
But you've never gone up
I realized I needed to make a change. Otherwise, I was going to be alone in my apartment.
Look, women have your own, like Kelsey, I'm sure this has like, I'm sure coming up in comedy, dudes like, let's do a writing session together. It's always, you know what I mean? Everyone's got that. Yeah. Like I was saying this the other night is like female comedians who like produce sketches always have like two sound guys on the sketch, because like the sound guys want to fuck them. Like there's always like a sound guy there, and like a guy producing a sketch can never get a sound guy, because why would the fucking sound guy come to, you know what I mean? Like women get help in certain ways, but because of that you also have to deal with dudes that are trying to fuck you. So like it's like you're balancing this thing where it's like you need to get what you can from the industry, but also like not cross that line.
I also think, 2019 now that all this shit's going down, all those guys that at one point in time were going to utilize their power to hire women so that they could be in a room with beautiful women to then fuck them. That's got to be over now. Like I don't see somebody in their position look at that and then think with their dick first anymore. I mean, and if they do, then they're fucking idiots. Why?
Or they think with their dick first, but their brain catches up pretty quickly.
Yeah, you have to think with your head first, your dick second. Always. I mean, that should just be the standard, and it doesn't work out in a lot of cases.
That makes more sense than the idea where you just need to pretend like a guy's not going to want to fuck every chick that walks by, and that's what it's almost like you're guilty. Like what's the Irish Liam Neeson, right? He said what his thoughts were, right? You know, about wanting to kill a black guy because his friend was raped. He said those thoughts, and he was like, you know, like everyone, it went viral, and it's like a guy. You should be able to like express your feelings. Like your reptilian side of your brain wants to fuck everything it sees. Mm-hmm. Now acknowledge that and then maybe don't use the powers that you have for that. But also, like, who are we kidding? Women are attracted to men that are in, I say positions of power, but it's due to confidence and self-worth and because they're at the top of their games, whether it's they're the bowling champion or an artist or a DJ. You know, whatever it is, like there's going to be women that are attracted to that in a guy because they've like kind of mastered their craft. You're an architect, you're this, you're that. But it's like it's what you do with that power as a guy, where you're not some seedy prick. What you're doing behind the scenes. If you're doing that shit in the DMs and leveraging people, that's where like, because we don't even know guys that are doing that. You don't know in most cases till it's like till they've been blown up. There was these.
You guys don't know anyone that slides into the DMs.
Not in a way that's like
that actually is very curious to me because of the sheer volume of DMs that I receive and that my friends receive. Like, how does no guys know any dudes that are getting in the DMs? Is it like a deep, dark, shameful secret?
I don't mean it as if DMs are a bad thing. Like, I'll direct message people like, hey, you know what I mean? But it's not like I'm not trying to fuck them, and it's not something that's like. You know what I mean? It's not the sliding to the DMs. It's what you're doing with that. If you're like sort of like
dick pics.
Well, of course that's that's not even worth the discussion because in most cases no chicks seen the dick pic. That's like that's a small percentage I think of society where like dudes are sending the unwanted dick pics. But
I don't think so.
I've never sent a dick pic in my life.
Really?
Never once, and I've never understood it. Ever. I don't get it. And it's
girls don't get it either.
I just don't understand.
Tasha's asked for a dick pic before.
What? Have you?
Asked for a dick pic?
It was early on in the relationship.
Please. Maybe we were exchanging sexy pictures, but I didn't explicitly ask to see your dick.
Let me see that Neil head.
Pull up the screenshot. We got a producer back there. Pull it up. It's not a sexy thing.
If asked, sure, but I've never been asked.
Because girls don't want to see a dick.
I don't want to see a dick. I don't want
to see a clam. I don't want to see just like a clam shot.
Yeah, you don't want to see I've never understood that either. Guys who are like, send me a picture of your pussy, and it's like, yeah, but the pussy and the dick are both the most
weird looking.
They're odd looking, and they're mostly for function. They're so functional. Whereas like tits, ass, and then maybe like a good aesthetics. Body on a guy. Yeah, those are the window dressings. You see a nice shoe, right? You look at the outside of the shoe. When you see somebody wearing a shoe, you're like, man, those are dope Adidas. I need them. You don't ask them to take the shoe off so they can look inside the shoe to see what the sole is like. Yeah, nobody wants to see what the fucking sole looks like. So I don't understand people sending vagina and dick pics or their asshole. I want to see your asshole. No, why?
I'm going to do my best to avoid looking up close at your asshole. Yeah. Okay.
That's the last thing I want to see.
Someone send me the spread vagina. Like, you know what I mean? Like the spread vagina photo. No. None. Not this Catholic boy. I'd rather see you in a bikini. I don't know. Leave a little bit.
Yeah.
My mind will go places. My mind will get there. just
have
address
a little imagination.
Yeah. Anyway, have an imagination out there. That's our PSA for the day. But yeah, I don't know. The whole point was that like we just need to be honest with ourselves. Like it should be like we preach the Superior Man, the book about like it's a book about how you should be okay feeling like other people's like energies and all that shit. And like if someone's like got a sexy energy, I mean like like I've got a good energy with a lot of the friends that were on the show today, or they were like or take Raquel, right? Raquel was on the podcast probably a couple months ago. She was Playmate of the Year, so she's clearly like qualified.
That blew Ken Gar's mind, and then when he told me that, I was like, she's a Playmate? Like no shit. And then she's laughing at our jokes.
Yeah,
that's never
laughing
been
loud.
that's like never been like in the like at first you just see a beautiful woman and they're laughing. Whatever, you're like, that's great, but nothing ever. I've never. There's like been two times where a beautiful woman is like, "Are you really married, engaged, or whatever you were talking about up there?" Yes, move on.
Yeah,
but having a Playmate, you're like, it's for some reason that
like a really hot famous person.
Yeah, just like that. What is it? The nameplate, whatever that is called. Having that title, laughing at you're like. I don't know what do I do with myself
because Fat Kane is on the inside of the controls going, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I would have had her poster on my wall. Absolutely.
Yeah, show me a picture of your pussy. Jesus Christ. But that like blew our minds that she
Well, what's funny is you're saying that, but I told Ken, and he goes, yeah, I can see it.
Fuck him. He was losing his shit outside. He was like, dude, she was a fucking Playmate. He was losing his mind.
Not only that, she was Playmate of the Year. She was the first Mexican-American Playmate. I think the only one ever.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I have...
Anyway, she's going to do the stand-up show next month.
Beautiful.
She's doing stand-up too? She's doing stand-up, yeah.
Oh, nice.
She drove in, and she lives in an hour north. I'm not going to say her personal address, but she lives an hour north of here. And she drove in. I mean, and like Tasha's like, I was like, she came by herself because she's happily married. Her husband's working or whatever. And
Boo. See, that's the verbal sliding in the DMs where when you downplay the person they're with, or guys Kelsey will post pictures of me on her Instagram and just loses followers.
They leave.
Hundreds and thousands of people are like, what is this horse shit? You're either playing foosball or showing me your ass. I don't want to see some bald
guy. All like social media advisors are like, don't put your boyfriend on your Instagram.
I had
they're
bit
just
about
tits
it.
and ass.
Tasha lost like 900 followers when she made me her Man Crush Monday. Imagine a full theater full of people being like, fuck you, no, and they just all leave. That's just that. But if I post it, it's the most likes I'll ever get.
Exactly. If I say it's our 7-year anniversary, isn't she beautiful? Everyone agrees.
That's the applause break. That's give it up for the troops on the Instagram. Give up the troops. Here's the picture. Oh, Instagram's not been a little slow on the algorithm. I'll post a photo of my lady.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. And I wasn't, I was insecure with it early on in the relationship because I'd be like, fuck man, you'd see other chicks that would post their boyfriend all the time, but they also like aren't running it at the level, there are some, we have friends, Caitlin O'Connor, there's people that post their boyfriend way more, but I just don't care anymore.
It depends on like, how your audience has developed too. And my audience, I don't think they know what they want from me. I think like a lot of them were like tits and ass people, but I'm not very much a tits and ass person. I just occasionally post like bikini shoots or whatever.
You got to scroll down to the good stuff. The good stuff. Gentlemen, scroll down.
Well, my numbers have been pretty poor lately, so I'm sure we got a bikini pic coming up soon.
But that's
a little
nice.
teaser. A little teaser for you. But like some people like fashion bloggers or whatever, they get married, then they become mommy bloggers, and like all of their followers are on board for that transition. Travel bloggers. I don't know. There are certain places where like, but I think it's the audience. I think it's your percentage of male.
It's so stupid how you have to have the right color, like temperatures.
Scheme. Yeah.
Fuck that shit. That's what kills me when they're like, bro, you gotta have the right color temperatures on your photos. It's like, I'm trying to tell jokes here. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're probably like me where it's like, I could give two shits. But it sucks because you do see comics that take advantage of social media and they have a huge platform. And it's like, well, you can't compete with that because even if they tell half as many jokes as you, that's enough to fill seats and,
it's so many people I know I either started with or I just now became friends with, like Big Irish J is following in the footsteps of Kevin Fredericks and to hear more, and Tony Baker, and these guys they're on tour currently, I think, the comedians of social media. And these guys, I mean, these guys know what they're doing in terms of like posting every single day, but that is exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
And I can't do it. Like they're like, and they don't push it on me. They just go, this is what made us get to a point where we now have a platform to go on the road all the time. And they just so happen to be hilarious comics.
Yeah.
So they have both of those things going for them. So you know you're getting a good show, but I can't do it.
It's not only is it a full-time job, it's also sort of a mind fuck. And like for me, for like maybe a year solid, I was really pushing social media, and then I took 3 years off. And that kind of stuff, you just don't come back. You know, you don't have that staying power.
And I
like
stopped
if you
trying
take
to push
6
her
months
too.
off, that can like Akila said this in her interview, like 6 months, if you like quit YouTube for 6 months, it could end your career, like your YouTube career, right? Because these people have like a shortest attention span. They don't really want to stick around. But where was I going with this? It's annoying.
Oh man.
It's so annoying to post on Instagram. I really don't know. I mean, maybe some people are just like wired differently, or they have a different like thought process about it. But for me, I find it so annoying. Like I can't concentrate on two things at once.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can't be in a social setting and doing a post. Like if I'm writing a post, I'm not paying attention to anyone I'm with.
Right.
And if I'm paying attention to the people that I'm with, I can't write a post. It's like I can only do one or the other.
Right.
So like for me, I find more value in like being with somebody in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So like my posts just don't happen, or I might take a picture or whatever, post it after I leave, but like that's not the kind of content. It really requires, I think a lot of the people who are good on social media, all of their friends are also on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're out, they're just like all posting at the same time, and then they're hanging out, and then they're all posting together, and they're getting pictures of each other, and like it becomes more of a group effort, and no one's offended because you're looking at your phone for 5 minutes while you write the perfect caption.
Yes, I get mad when I watch, like Tasha, she did some trips like to Mexico with the groups, the influencer groups, and I get annoyed watching, because like you'll post a video and then in the background of the video there's 9 chicks on their phone on a beach. It just annoys me because I knew if I was there, I'd be like, I would take everyone's phone and put them in a duffel bag. But I get
that to be on the beach and like listening to the music and like holding a drink with an umbrella and like running in the waves. That is way more fun than like
that's why
posting about having fun.
I don't have a Facebook and a Twitter, and I deleted both of them. I deleted Facebook a long time ago because I was like, I can't do it. I hate it.
It's a time suck and it's toxic.
You're right. And I feel
Would you get mad? Would you get mad scrolling Facebook and seeing other comics shows and stuff?
Not even that. It's just the fact that I'm scrolling, and it's like, what are you doing?
There's no
and
bottom.
then all of a sudden your wrist is numb and you're like, what happened?
What am I doing what am I doing? I don't give a fuck what people are saying. And I'm like watching my mom argue with my uncle on a thread about politics. I'm like, fuck are you two doing?
Yeah.
And I don't post enough on it to keep it.
Good for you for deleting.
So I'm just like, I'm out.
It's like it's such a, I don't know. I get on the fence about it because I do like it as like a collection, like a news source, but then you have the fake news thing too. But like I'm reading like articles from National Geographic or like whatever, like stuff that I find interesting that wouldn't land in my lap otherwise.
Tasha's Facebook is conspiracy theory haven. It's so different than my Facebook. Yeah, your Facebook's so.
Why do you think that?
It's super liberal.
I only have like 3 or 4 people who like conspiracies.
It's all conspiracies, but like weird news and a lot of Nat Geo stuff. It's very.
What about National Geographic is conspiracy?
No, because you'll have like some weird, media thing, and then you'll have just like cubs, fighting a coyote or something. It's like one, and then but then there'll be like super feminist stuff, and then all this like financial advice. It's a lot. Where mine's like comics calling each other fags. mine's
Simple.
like comics arguing over the art of comedy, and none of us should even. You know what I mean? It's so stupid.
Your Facebook sounds like your search history in what you just like had the thought that day. That's what I love about what he just described your Facebook. I would actually visit your Facebook if it was just like, here's Cubs fighting a coyote, and guess who wins? And then you just scroll up, and it's like, I mean, we need equal pay. And then you scroll up again, and it's just, dude, 9/11 was an inside job. It's like, dude, what the fuck is she doing? Why is there so much different shit on here?
I'm telling you, I've gotten on her book, and I've been like, whoa, you got some stuff. You got wars going on over here, and but mine's just like a bunch of dudes complaining about who's represented on a comedy festival. Like, what do we care about?
And that's just as shallow as the people who do the influencer stuff. I watched both Firefest documentaries.
Yeah, so did we.
Amazing.
Wait, did I watch 2 or just 1? I think I just watched 1.
I watched both of them, but yeah.
Watch the Hulu one. It's great.
Which one do we watch?
You probably watched Netflix.
I watched the
Hulu.
one where he said he was going to suck the guy's dick.
That's Netflix.
Okay.
And that one I think was produced by Fuck Jerry, who's trying to get out from under the PR nightmare that this
from
is.
all the plagiarism they've done.
But the Hulu one is so great because it takes shots at everybody. No one's safe in it, especially the influencers. And what's great is, so in the Hulu one, they sit down the influencers. There's like 2. And they're intercutting the interview with them with their phones 2.5 inches from their face, going, look at where we're at Fire Festival. We're on the bus. We're in the plane. We're on our way. Oh, look at these fucking tents. And then they cut back to them and they're like, okay, so what's an influencer? Like, what's your brand? And why this is so important to me? Because when I moved down here, I hated every part of my life. It was part like I got sober here, and part of the reason I got such a problem is because I moved here
from Seattle.
From Seattle.
Seattle, yeah, okay.
And life just sucked, and so I was drinking a lot, and I sent a tape to be on television, and Kelsey's manager was like helping me out, and then I didn't hear anything, so I assumed I didn't get it. So she calls me up and she's like, "Let's have lunch." So we sit down to have lunch, and she goes, and I'm in no mood. I've just been in no mood since I've been down here.
Who sat down? The manager sat down?
Kelsey's manager.
Okay.
We're at lunch, and I can't handle anybody. And so when we're sitting there, I have like zero filter, and she goes, well, you didn't get it, and I just wanted to sit down personally and say, like, you're probably not going to make it in this type of environment because the video you sent is very, like, anti-women, and it was a joke about how I made fun of Kelsey's friend's outfit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anti-women. I was teasing her.
It's a great joke. I know the joke.
Yeah. It's just about, I was teasing this big belt that she had wrapped around her waist, and I was treating her like I would a comic like a male comic.
Oh, it's a killer joke.
Yeah.
So Tasha would love it.
Really, the joke's about equality. I'm not talking down to her. I'm not trying to hit on her. I'm talking to her like I would.
You're just
Dave.
giving her unsolicited advice about her belt.
No. I'm shitting on her belt.
Okay.
So I'm like making fun of her.
It's a bit, Tasha.
Okay.
No, not
She's
advice.
already on the women's side. Your man.
It's not advice. It's me. I see her belt and I think of something funny to say, and it's at her expense.
And women probably laugh harder in the audience. I'm just guessing.
I've had female comics who are like, you just look like an asshole in this bit. But they've also watched me do it when I bomb. Anyway, so I send a tape where it's going well. And she's just like, sitting there. She's like, so a bunch of women thought it was like anti-women type of bit. And so that's why you didn't get it. And really, we just don't know what your brand is. What's your brand? And I'm like, what's your brand? I couldn't.
Defensiveness is my brand.
Yeah. And I was just so taken aback by it. And I was like, what is a brand? What's a brand?
Why does a person need to be a brand?
Thank you, Tasha.
That's what's annoying. Like, I just want to be a person.
Right.
Like a normal person, flaws and all.
Try to wrap yourself into a brand. It's probably one of the most impossible things you can do because it's insincere no matter what you say. My brand is, even if what you do is carpentry. What's your brand? I'm a carpenter. That's all you do all day. You're not married. You don't have a favorite baseball team, color, food, places you like to visit. Certain changes in the weather affect your mood. You're not just the one thing.
But once you find that specialty, that little niche, that is that's your in. And that's why people ask for that. And that's why people want to know it. Like for fashion bloggers, it's way easier to be like, a jeans blogger than a fashion blogger. Like you make a name for yourself becoming the best jeans blogger or like the best lingerie blogger. Like if whatever you're, instead of just being a fashion blogger that talks about whatever, like some people are only like designer clothes and some people are whatever it is.
But most people in the comedy world that aren't comedians don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and it goes to show because
don't know what they are.
The people that like say what's your brand, they don't know enough to think past like that and see like how you are on stage, and because sometimes your brand is you being an observant comedian.
But think about like famous comedians. You could put them all in a category. Like 100%. There's a redneck comedian. There's like an urban comedian. There's a Kane Cook kind of womanized, like sexy guy comedian.
But there's like Bill Burr wasn't a brand. I'm sure he got
Bill
passed up by
Burr's Boston.
But but he wasn't. He was like Kane's on the Bill Burr path where it's like the whole fucking place doesn't think I fit into their box. Well, fuck it. I'm going to just murder everyone with my jokes.
But he's such a unique character.
And to I've thought about this even more, especially after watching that documentary, because when they're asked what their brand is, they don't have a complete answer. Their answers are little one-word or catchphrases. Positivity. My brand is I promote positivity and wellness. And what the fuck does any of that mean? You don't know what that means. You got lucky. You have a bunch of people that somehow buy the products you hold up in a picture. That is pure luck. That has and maybe there's some like marketing talent involved in there. I can't say whether or not they are talented or not.
Well, it's usually it looks first.
But the idea that they didn't have an answer and they stuttered their way through it. That made it even like that concreted in my head even more. And also the idea of a brand, it's you don't have control over that.
It's perception.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Whatever you do that makes you famous, it's the audience.
It's more about recognizing how other people perceive you and then just like going for that.
Yes. So when the audience decides this is what you are, guess what? That's your brand now. You don't have any control over that.
Like the lady from Miss Maisel in the fat suit. Do you watch the show? It's a really good show.
Tasha doesn't. I'm not allowed to talk because, like, by episode 3, she's like a famous comedian hanging out with like other famous comedians, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Tasha goes, "You're so bitter," and I go, "No, it's like same with Crashing. It's like episode 5, he's friends with Artie Lang. Oh, okay, that would happen.
By episode 1, he's friends with Artie Lang.
Right, like that would be the 14th year of your comedy is you get to be friends with Artie Lang.
That was.
I get it. Whatever.
The movie Punchline with Tom Hanks and Sally Field, where Sally Field just buys jokes and then goes to comedy clubs, packed. Every night's packed, and it was the '80s, so I'm sure it was that. And she goes up with these fucking jokes she's bought, and she's bombing. So Tom Hanks goes, just riff. So Sally Field, who has no funny bone in her body.
Mrs. Forrest Gump.
Yeah. This woman has she hasn't said one funny fucking thing in the entire movie. I don't know if Sally Field's funny, but her character is painfully unfunny. So then Tom Hanks gets this unknown comic to go up at a sold out show on a weekend and tells her to riff. And when she riffs, she fucking murders. And I'm sitting there going, nope, that's not how that works at all. Not even remotely.
But that's why people think they want to do comedy, because you're supposed to make it look easy. You don't see it's not, you're not playing the violin where you get to watch them hit all these crazy notes. You're just doing this like pacing that you kind of figure out over time. And it's, that's the beauty of it. But also, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe the value's not transparent until it's like that next level where you're just like, holy fuck, we fucking changed the room there. Like that was cool. I don't know.
And for some people it's easier than others, but I'm sure it's really just about perseverance and your skill set. Some people are more hardwired for that. Some people are more hardwired to like do Instagram. Like you said, I don't know if these people have talent, but they do, because we've tried to do Instagram and I can barely post a story a day,
Tasha, but I get mad for Tasha. Some of these girls have like 500,000 millions of followers. There's one chick, her name's Gabby Epstein. I shouldn't have said her name because I'm about to shit on her. She's got millions of followers. She's on the beaches petting the pigs in the Caribbean. I couldn't find somebody less attractive in my life.
That's not true. She's cute. I know who you're talking about.
Look,
but
it's just
either
to me.
way, she's developed her brand.
And it's like,
she knew what people wanted from her, and she gave them more of it.
and I get mad because, we all think, I think Tasha, I want you to have the sort of avenue to like have your voice and do all these things. And it annoys me when you don't have that because you're a little older. And I mean, these are like 17-year-olds that got off the ground with this shit.
Yes, yeah, sure, true. But also like I think it's important to kind of be authentic to yourself, and like it's never going to be my cup of tea to like wake up and post selfies. Like that's just not how my brain works. That's not how I feel. That's not what makes me feel like valued
you should pay
or
one
confident.
of these chicks to do it. She had like 1,000 followers when we started dating. The next year she had 80,000. So like it's the trajectory can be crazy, but then when you took your foot off the pedal again, and we don't need to talk. This isn't that interesting. But like I get you losing followers because bots and people just leave and they go away. I get all that, and I wouldn't want to pressure you into doing something that doesn't make you happy. Because like the actual art of the stress
you
of
do
that.
Realize that you interrupted me when I was like talking about something that actually like
Kane knows I'm in trouble
was
now.
gonna just wrap it up and made sense.
Sorry,
you have to be authentic. Like what would be the point of me like doing all of this stuff that isn't me, that doesn't make me happy, just to put me down a path of like more of that, when I could focus my energies on something that's more true to myself or has something that like resonates with me more, like more value in that way. And that has potential to do its own thing.
Kane, what's Tasha's brand? Tell me Tasha's brand.
Tasha's brand.
What should Tasha do? Let's make like what should she do?
What I find very interesting.
Everyone vote.
What I find interesting about Tasha and model, that's your profession, right? You're a professional model.
Yeah.
And so, and what I love about what you said was, and it's like this Alan Watts quote that I listen to quite often, where he's talking to this theater of people, and he's like a lot of people always ask me after they're about to graduate college, like, well, what do I do now? What do I do with this degree that I've studied and took all this time, 4 years of my life? What do I do now?
And probably a few $100,000.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, what do you really want to do? If money was no object, what do you really want to do? And they're like, well, what I really want to do is I want to be a poet, or I want to be a writer or a painter, or, I want to dance and all this shit that they didn't go to school for. And he's like, do that and don't worry about the money. And then practice being that until you get so good at it, money starts rolling in. And exactly what you were saying, he says, is, you're why live a life like if you posting every day like that? It doesn't make any sense.
It's more stressful than it is like bringing endorphins. Like, what am I doing it for?
Right, and then you're living this life where you hate this life, but you're doing it because
but you're like stuck in the
it.
hamster wheel of it. Mm-hmm. And because you do it and you're putting all of your time and your energy and your effort into it, that's going to be the thing that grows. So you're only setting yourself up to have more of this thing that's not even your thing.
So her brand is philosopher. We nailed it. She's a philosopher.
Tasha the philosopher.
Tasha philosopher.
Oh, dude. That's great.
It's like a dinosaur name.
Can you clap and laugh after you say it? Tasha philosopher.
But I think it's interesting that you're in the field of model, and yet you're like, no, I don't want to. And it seems like social media and posting like that every day, where it's something new, you in a different outfit, something like tighter, or something you're being sponsored by or whatever, to promote yourself, your body, your looks, or whatever. And also like you're holding a can of soda. Everybody drink Mountain Dew Red, and you like that's part of the thing, you would think, or at least from my limited knowledge of the field, it seems like that's what you'd have to do. And you're like, I don't fucking want to do that shit.
But she's really authentic when she does promote the things she does like, and she's really good at the spokesperson part of that. I think it's the nitty gritty sort of like, if there was an app like like Instagram just isn't for you, like in the daily grind. But if there's an app where you just hit the button and talked about your day, I think you'd kill it at that.
Yeah, it's probably more
it's like reading the comments, no like comparison. Sorry.
No. Well, sure. Yeah, that. But more than anything else, it's just like showing up to a set and shooting and not having to worry about anything else except like having a good time is one thing. But like putting on the good time, like producing the shoot and producing the content and producing the good time, like all of that
stresses you out.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
You love it when your call time's this. You show up with your bag of wardrobe. You show up ready to go. She knows how to shoot, and it sounds. This is what I've learned over time, Tasha, is that people go, "Oh, what do models do?" What they do, like when like a good model, like what it sounds stupid to even defend it, but like you know how to pose in a million different ways. So the photographer just is taking photos, and then the client's got like a million options. Like you've done this shit for decades now, you know what I mean? And it really is like a talent, and it's like you enjoy that. The music's going, you have a good rapport with a good photographer. If you shoot with a shitty photographer, I'm the first to know. She's like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, you know what I mean?
But even when it's just like the bullshit, when it's just like e-com or whatever, you're just showing up and like counting your dollar bills mentally, like getting you through the next 4 hours. You're like, okay, this is fine.
But we had this talk last night. We were in the bed, sitting upside down, like laying in, fully dressed, we didn't have the energy to go to bed. We were just fully dressed at like 3 a.m. just like, I can't move. And you were literally having this philosophical Tasha philosopher moment where she was like, what am I doing with my life? Where do I want to go? And it's a good, and I was like, the fact that you're asking these questions is good and healthy, and like, don't beat yourself up over it. But yeah, your answer is so simple. Like, just do what you love. And it sounds crazy to say, because I mentioned this, like my family, I come from an entrepreneurial family, but that means I've got some broke family members and some ones that kill it. But like the idea that like, and I have to remind Tasha, like, we're gonna be okay, because I'm doing what I love and I'm hitting my stride with what I love, and there's an audience for that. Patreon.com/thisap. There's an audience for when you do what you love. Like we showed it today with on a small micro level with the podcast. We had people drive in from a couple hours away to go see the stand-up show today, and like so there is an audience when you do what you love. It ain't gonna be Instagram. It ain't gonna be counting the likes when you post a photo with me or telling me.
Or maybe it is Instagram, but it's an authentic version of it.
Maybe it's just Instagram Live. Maybe you just do more Instagram Live and you fuck the other, whatever it is. But it's like once you learn what it is, once I've like cracked the code with Tasha, where I'm like, oh, it's not that you're like some hermit. It's just there's nitty gritty things about it piss you the fuck off when it's like it's like an OCD thing. Once you have to like if you have to do like if you had to do an unboxing, you'd be so annoyed because everything have to be perfect because they're gonna be looking. It's just one thing after another, and so it's just not. Yeah, it doesn't make you happy. And for me, that shit doesn't matter to me, but I also don't stress out over like the composition of things, and it shows. I don't have a good Instagram following, so I'll just like flip a photo up and not worry about it.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe if I just cared less, it would be like way easier.
You need to have a thing set up, like a wall set up that you shoot against, and you don't. She's hard, but you don't even touch it. It's just you're ready to go. Luckily, with the ring light, she's good. She's really good. Like she knows. You're really good at just like banging that shit out once the lighting's right and all that. But yeah, it's. But like we go, oh, you fucking hate Instagram. It's like no. You just all of social media doesn't work for everybody. I can't scroll through. I can't scroll through Facebook or Instagram because I get mad when I see other people on shows I'm not on. It's so irrational. It's so stupid. But I'm sure anyone listening knows that it's just social comparison, and it's fucked because like today I'm not feeling better. Like I felt good about the stand-up show today. I felt really good about the stand-up show, but like somebody's feeling bad because they weren't on the show. Somebody's seeing that and going, man, fuck Dave. Man, fuck him. I'm not on it. Yeah, no, that's the thing. And it's like, we'll get around to booking you, probably. Send a tape. Just don't do that joke about a women's belt. But yeah, it's, no, it's, I don't know. It's like, does Kelsey does she know what her triggers are when it comes to like, what, like, does she, like, I'm sure because she's been on Fallon, I'm sure she just knows to stay away from comments online. She knows her brand. She also opened for Jim Norton, so I'm sure she knows those are like the most vile. That's what's crazy with her is that she's worked with people that their full audience are the biggest trolls in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah, they find me and then they tell me that I'm too ugly to be with someone as beautiful and
they're enamored by her.
The angel that is Kelsey Cook. And it's like I get where you're coming from, because if I saw her and saw me, I would think, yeah, she is much better than me, outside. She's disgusting, okay? And if you think one guy, it's probably my top 10 favorite Kelsey's hot comments ever. And I read it like 4 times, and then I screenshotted it and sent it to Kelsey. I'm like, this dude's awesome. He said, I would drink Kelsey's bathwater. Oh, God. It was so disgusting and funny and just like that's how hot he thinks she is. And what's funny is I live in the vicinity of her bathwater. No, you don't. She's fucking gross. She's hot, but she's disgusting. But yeah, she gets flooded with fucking guys who are sliding in those DMs, and maybe I don't know any of those guys that hit anybody up, but I'm also in the business where I'm surrounded by beautiful women who then are being fucking catcalled via Instagram DMs.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know any of those guys because
we see how it looks from our end. Where you're like, come on, bro, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, it's like the only thing I can compare it to is when those fucking sexy bots try to request me and be like, hey baby, you want to see my nudes? Yeah. And it's like, how fucking dumb do you think I am? Sure, of course, I'd love to see your nudes. Oh, a virus, fuck. But yeah, I don't know. She handles it pretty well. The only thing that she's this kind of the same.
Like, do you get defensive? Do you get defensive?
Not anymore.
Protective of her?
No, because it's just constant, and
it's also fake people. These aren't people at comedy shows for the most part.
No,
they're just they wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this social media.
Yeah, anytime she gets a shitty comment, I'm just like, you're doing something right.
Like a mean comment, like a hater.
Yeah, like you're not funny or whatever. You're lucky you're pretty. Like she gets she gets talked down to a lot like that. Like
that's what they say to me.
What I
go, thank you.
Yeah, they say that a lot. There's a lot of that time where you're like, you're lucky you're hot because I wouldn't have stayed all the way through this video or whatever. And
where do people get off on that?
I don't know.
Just so
it's fucking mind-boggling.
Rude and so.
But
here's
what I've learned: she's on television. She is on television. She made it without a manager, by the way. I have to put that out. She fired that manager that asked me what my brand was. She let that fucking dumpy shithead go. And she worked her fucking nuts off to get to the Tonight Show. All by herself.
Yeah.
Fucking met with the booker and then was like relentless. Had nobody else in her corner. In the type of higher up managers and agents that you need to get on something like the Tonight Show.
You do, yeah.
This girl busted her ass to get on the show all by herself, and then when she's on the show, she fucking kills it, then gets done, and then the comments are, you're lucky you're pretty, and it's like, you have fucking absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
How much work this took.
Yeah.
How much
She looked
talent
she did her own makeup too. She doesn't trust other makeup artists.
She looked like a goddamn star.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Fuck yeah.
And I've never been more nervous in my entire life.
Oh my god.
I was in the back with her friends and I'm sweating like it's my set. I'm like, I'm sure she's gonna kill it, but I'm so petrified. I'm just hoping that and I know she has it in her, but it's fucking television.
Well, you imagine they're behind the curtain. There's a crew guy. He's okay. We're gonna go and then the band plays, and then there it is, and it's a fucking 4 p.m. or whatever it is, 6 p.m. It sounds insane. I love hearing all the comic stories about the Letterman days. I mean, now it's starting. Like Fallon. I mean, he's kind of like one of the last ones. Colbert, they record separately now. Colbert, they'll do like a batch of stand-up recordings separately. So like this, like Conan's probably separate too now because I think they scaled back that show. So Fallon and maybe Seth Meyers is like the last place that you can like that this happens where it's just insane. And then they for 4.5 minutes, you're the only person in the whole country that's speaking on that network. Dude, that's what's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
It's crazy.
It's isolating for sure.
Yeah. But we had brunch show today, so that was my. I want to talk. We already had an hour, so I want to get into this. You're recording your. Can we go for another like half hour?
Yeah, right? We can have whatever. I got nothing going on.
Tasha's got plenty of berries, so I think we'll be good to go. She's foraged some berries. So you're taping. I didn't even know this. You're taping your album this week.
Yeah, Sunday, March 24th at the Pasadena Ice House Comedy Club, and I'm on the main room. 2 shows. 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. It's being put on by the Cool Beans comedy guys. Those guys are awesome.
Nice.
And if you want to come just to meet those guys, you should. They're great.
We're not even here.
I know we're not gonna.
We're gonna be in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I would
follow Cool Beans. Everybody else follow Cool Beans too. If you're listening, Cool Beans Comedy on Instagram because they teach stand-up classes and the Corey Craig. I'm forgetting the name of the other guy, but they put on a great show. It's sold out every Sunday. They do it once a month, and in the main room of the Ice House, and the hottest fucking crowd. And they won't put up comics until the crowd is ready and hot. Like they go up and they do their time.
That's a great place for comedy.
Yeah, and they do a genius thing where it's what they have. You know how like usually there's bringer shows all over this town.
Oh yeah.
They did a genius version of the bringer show. So they have their comedy class. They teach a comedy. They teach you how to do stand up. Then on graduation day, they pick 1 or 2 people for both shows, because they always do 2 shows a night, to come and try out in front of a real audience their set that they graduated from after the comedy class. And then they're like, bring people if you like. And so, of course, there's incentive to then bring people like, look, I graduated from a comedy class.
Yeah.
Come watch the show.
And all your friends like, I'll be there. And then,
yes. Yeah. And so they pack the fucking place out.
I watched Dave's graduation show.
You did?
She brought a boyfriend.
Yep.
Yeah, it was way before we dated. Yeah.
Oh, that's hot.
Second row. Yeah.
That's sexy.
Yeah. Legs in the second row.
It was a sad show.
Was it bad?
But it was okay.
No.
Not yours. Of course not.
Oh my
yours,
gosh, dude!
babe.
Honestly, no joke. It's probably one of the best tapes I have. It was just a hot room. It was the Belly Room sold out bringer show. It's a good room.
And lots of your friends.
Were you enamored by him? Were you like, ooh, Dave, or were you like, ugh?
I think we were just friends. You know, we knew each other from New York.
I was so nervous. Not for that you were there. Just no. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ! It was
Belly
insane.
Room. Fuck yeah!
First show ever.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember your first show?
Yeah, I was. My first show outside of an open mic was at this packed banquet hall, and my boss knew the guy who was running the show, and so he was like, I told him I was going to a few open mics, and so he's like, oh, I can ask my buddy. He does this this monthly show, and I walk in and it's fucking packed, and there is nothing but Seattle heavy hitters in this. Rod Long, I don't know if you know him. Andy Peters. He's down in LA now. My mentor Ralph Porter, and these guys are fucking murderers. And so the guy Tony, he's also Tony Daniel. That guy fucking is also a guy that like brought me up. And I've never been more. I was the amount of fear I had that day is the same I had on Kelsey's Tonight Show, where I was just like, fuck, I hope this goes well. And I'm only doing 5.
You can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah. And this guy brought me up to go to. This is how he brings me up. He goes, all right, he kills. He blows the fucking roof off of the place. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I got to follow this. And he goes, all right, your first comic, I've never heard of this guy. I've been doing comedy a long time, and he just happened to show up because he knows a friend of mine. So I hope he's funny. I don't remember his name. Our guest set. And then I just walked on stage.
How'd it go?
It went all right. It went, as far as I can remember, it was like the one first show my mom ever saw, and so that was the
wow.
Yeah.
Are you the personality type that blacks out like a bad thing?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a lot of memories I don't like. People were like, "Do you remember that?"
No, we gotta bury that one.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need that one for the archives.
Yeah.
I feel like going on stage, like the adrenaline would kill me. Like 100%. Like
Tasha did improv 101 at UCB 101, and she had a meltdown before her class show, crying. Tasha the philosopher.
It's been a long time since I had to have that like anxiety adrenaline rush. Like the closest thing I can think of is like before like major like dance performances or theater performances. Like you get that like horrible feeling, and then you just get going and you're fine.
Yep.
I'd sell all my earnings. I'd give everything away to have the video. She killed it. She's doing these act outs on stage. She says she doesn't remember any of it. I think you were jump roping like in the scene, and you were doing like burpees. You're like running around. You were like Dane cooking it, and the audience was loving it. It was great.
I blacked out.
And then, yeah, she has no idea. I was like, oh, so you showed up. But that's what it is. Like, don't think.
I can remember like my last 2 adrenaline rushes in the past 5 years, and I like really felt like they took years off my life.
What was the other
one? Got gray hair. It wasn't that one. That's not even what I'm thinking of. That was not adrenaline. That was just like pure fear.
That's adrenaline.
Well, shark swimming with the whale shark.
We had to swim with whale sharks.
That almost killed me. And then like a couple years ago,
jump off the boat, and they basically pushed her on top of a whale shark.
Oh Jesus!
In 2 hours, like an hour boat ride off the coast in Mexico. We did it for a Royal Caribbean photo shoot. Yeah, that was wild because whale sharks
I'm
have.
surprised I didn't have a heart attack.
You think you're
in the water.
You think you're seeing 2 whales come at you, but those are both of their fins or whatever. That's how big they are, like school buses. So you think you're seeing, and then then you turn around and boom, there's a whale shark, and they have tiny little throats. They just eat like whatever.
Krill.
But they have gigantic mouths, and they just like they go like really slow. But yeah, that was I'll give you that one. That
and then the other one, I was late for a commercial shoot. And I was like in a horrible traffic jam, but it wasn't like traffic. It was like part of the 101 where like the on-ramp is like long and like separated from like the on and offs are their own little mini highway next to the big highway. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like a little barrier.
How was that in your top 2?
Because I drove over the barrier to go around.
This was your old car?
My old
car?
Prius.
Oh, your old Prius.
My old Prius.
Tasha in a Prius, man, she'll fuck up some situations in her. I've had to like kick her what's it called? Hubcap back on her wheels so many times. She said to get a wheel replaced. I'm like, how do you blow a wheel out on a Prius in traffic? Like, what are you doing down there?
Jesus.
I don't know, but I feel like I have aged 5 years from those 2 instances.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm not getting on anybody's stage.
You know you're doing something right when you're pushing the lines. Like for me, even last night, I had to run into a Carl's Jr. I was doing a show in Orange County, and it was just a new venue. So there must have been something about it that made me at the last second have to use the bathroom. Because I work all day in Santa Monica at these nice hotels where I can use like the $700 a night shitters. Like I can use the nice bathrooms all day, but then and then I normally would. But the second I get to Orange County, I'm at this like black box theater, and this place actually they gave me a T-shirt, and it was nice, and I just like fucking had to go. And
you are good looking. When they just give you shirts, nobody gives me anything. No one gives me shit. I tried doing that on my birthday. My 29th birthday, I went around to establishments and I was like, "Hey, can I get some stuff for free? It's my birthday." I didn't have any money, so I was just like, I just want, and then no. One Starbucks gave me a free coffee because the guy felt bad for me. But
I
think we got to give Kane some of our homemade soap. I think he's asking.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys have it before?
No,
I didn't. I guess I didn't give it to you guys before.
All right, we'll soap.
Make sure we'll give it to you. It's really good. It's lather the shit out of you, and then the guy can drink Kelsey's bathwater afterwards.
Hey, there you go.
Anyway, I had to go shit in this Carl's Jr., but the men's room was some dude was it was fucking Carl's Jr. on the road. I went into the women's. I went for it. I just had to go. I took the women's bathroom over. No one showed up. I was like fucking.
You couldn't wait.
I was like fucking equality. Let's do it. 2019, and I blew up the women's bathroom.
It is the fault of the Carl's Jr. to not have the all genders welcome sign on their door. That's on them. That's not on you.
Yeah, I identified as a man who needed to blow up a women's bathroom.
For sure.
I wanted to talk to you. We got to get. So, can you believe it was almost a year ago we went to Portland for those shows? Isn't that wild? It was 11 months ago.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then it was I'm trying to think of the times we've actually hung out. We did Magic Castle together, which was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was a long time ago. But I want to catch Tasha up. So for everyone listening, I'll put a link in the description of this episode. We did a podcast, me, you, and Jay Hollingsworth, where we talked a lot about your relationship with Kelsey. So I don't want to be redundant, but you basically proposed, were engaged, got unengaged, said fuck that.
Yes.
And since we've last talked, we're
getting married in July.
Woo!
Congrats.
I proposed on her podcast, Self-Helpless, and I was just gonna do it in the studio, and then Taylor Tomlinson was like, "Just do it on the show. Just be a guest on the show and do it on the show." And I'm like, I didn't want to propose to her in front of people. Yeah. Let alone do it on the podcast.
Yeah, while you're recording.
Listeners. Yeah, but I was like, all right, okay, I'll do it that way.
I watched it. It was great.
Yeah, I wrote a whole love letter. She's the only woman really that's ever inspired me to write love letters. I've drawn her. Yeah, I've drawn her. And that seems so weird to say out loud. I've drawn her.
Draw me like you're a French horse. You're DiCaprio.
And I put hair in her armpits. She doesn't have any, but I draw it in because that's how hot I think it is. But she's always kind of inspired me to do love. I told her this when we first got together. I'm like, I'm scared of you because I'm pretty sure you're going to be the first woman in my whole life to break my heart. Like, I thought she was going to, because I was like, because I'm about to, like really devote a lot of my heart and soul to you. I've never really done this before. And so please don't ruin my life when you eventually leave me. Like, give me enough space.
I love as a comic you can say this out loud because that's what everyone thinks. Like, I'm about to give you the keys to my house and my heart. Please don't hurt me.
I've never been. We were she lived in Seattle and I lived in Auburn. They were like an hour away from each other, and it felt like a long distance relationship because we were so fucking in love with each other, and it's still that way. Oddly enough, 7 years later, she'll leave, and then we'll both just go, it's not the same. It's not. It doesn't feel right. Like, the house doesn't feel right. She doesn't feel right when she's gone, and vice versa. Like, when I'm in a like a lot of guys are like, oh God, I'm just so glad she's gone. I got the house to myself. And like to a point when you get some time to yourself, that's fine. But I don't really enjoy her being gone. And I think that's because every other girlfriend I've ever had, I just was like,
the problem is a lot of times in relationships, the common denominator becomes the relationship. And that's like it's like, all right, well, see ya. I'll be home at 5. And then you just sit on the couch next to each other. And then it's like you stop each other from pursuing the things that you would make you proud to then show each other.
Right.
So you almost need to be apart to work on your thing, to then bring it back, like bringing home the bacon, to be like, look what I did.
Yeah.
Like Tasha, you get to see my new stand-up once in a while. Come to a show every few months or whatever. Come see what I'm presenting to you now. Did I make you laugh? Do you still love me? Like, that's my way of being like, am I doing okay? But that's what it is. And it's like, and then like we get a new accomplishment. We got featured on iTunes. I wanted to show Tasha. I wanted to record her reading the email that we were going to get a feature, because that meant
that's
so
fucking
much.
Cool.
It was so stupid. It meant so, but like to me, I was like, this is a validation that like we're doing something right. We're going in that, you know what I mean?
Right. And rather than go, this is great, and then go, hey Tasha, we're featured on iTunes, and she's just on the shitter. You were like, I waited
all day, man. It took me forever. I was like, she's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. But I was like, I waited all day, and then she was like sleeping, and I was like, you gotta wake up. She's like, I'm like, we're gonna videotape this. We're gonna video. You know what? I'll put that video on the Patreon. That's a Patreon only thing. I wanted to talk.
Cute video.
It's a cute video. We'll make it cute. We'll slap on some filters and all that. We'll make it cute. It was our first of hopefully many. It was our first feature. It took 5 years. I only submitted it. It was only my third time submitting it for a feature. I didn't know you could do that. If you need to know the info, I'll help you out with that.
That would be great.
So you have a Patreon as well. I wanted to talk about that before we get out of here. What's it been like? And again, if anyone's new stumbling into this Patreon, it's a membership service for like your super fans, people that really like what you do, that they can kind of tip you in a way to get additional content.
Yeah. So I have a podcast called Well Actually, a podcast for nerds who think they know everything. And essentially what we do is you tell me what do you like? Like, what's your thing you're super nerdy about?
What is it?
Come on.
I don't know.
Your mug?
Harry Potter?
Yes.
Okay, so we've done. Okay, perfect.
She'd be an expert if you needed a Harry Potter expert.
Which Harry Potter book or movie are you huge about? Do you love the most?
Oh, that's really tough.
I love them all.
Well,
no, the third book and the fifth book are both like really high up there.
But you know which like character? I don't know. I've never seen it, but like you know what character type you are, right? Like you're pretty good on like
which house?
Yeah, house. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I'm a Slytherin.
Oh, geez. Why?
I don't know. Maybe because I think teasing girls' belts is hilarious. And that's a very Slytherin-esque thing.
I don't even know what a Slytherin means, but you've got the sounds Slytherin-y.
Slytherins are like power focused, I guess you would say. Like they are really driven by power. Gryffindors are really driven by justice.
Yes.
Is that what you are?
Yeah. And
every girl I know, by the way, wants or needs to be Gryffindor, and if they take the Pottermore quiz and they're not, they lose their shit.
This really did get nerdy. I like it.
Truthfully, I've always been very on the fence. I always sort of self-identified as a Ravenclaw.
Absolutely.
But as I get older, shut up.
I love that.
As I get older, I realize more and more that like I'm like, because school was always very important to me, grades, but I'm not like studious.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not, like their motto is like pursuit of knowledge, right? And I don't necessarily like, I'm entertained by knowledge.
You love
but
knowledge.
it's not-
Your Facebook news feed's all knowledge.
I know, but don't you think I'm more consumed by justice than knowledge? My mom told me I'm like a Gryffindor.
Sure.
So like, but I've always sort of felt very on the fence about Ravenclaw versus Gryffindor. I wear both pins.
Oh,
I
didn't even know that was a thing. And so essentially what happens too, we've done Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone, and we've done the book and movie, and then we've done Chamber of Secrets. We actually did Chamber of Secrets 2 days ago, or two episodes ago. And the what we do is we take somebody who's a huge nerd like you about the specific book or movie, Harry Potter, not specifically Harry Potter, but just happens to be Harry Potter. And we talk about the movie and the book. I'll usually just watch the movie. And then me and my co-host Tommy McGuan and Holly Annabelle Brown, we write down quiz questions. And then you have a 15-question quiz that we quiz you on about the book and movie.
Like trivia?
Like trivia.
Okay.
Does she get the chance to rewatch it or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can,
Yeah, you could prep.
Yeah, you can
It's
prep.
like getting ready to go on Jeopardy. You got to prep.
So there's 15 questions. We have a prize. Tommy brings a surprise prize. Even we don't know what he's bringing when he brings it. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's awful. And then there's also rankings. And so we review the book, the movie, and then we quiz you, rank you, give you a prize. And that's essentially the whole show. And then we started a Patreon. And the Patreon gets even nerdier. I recorded one today. I had a thought and I couldn't get it out of my head, and I wanted to talk about it. And so I thought, there's no quiz. The bonus episodes are mostly discussion about nerd topics. And the topic I picked, I just recorded before I came over here, was casting superheroes in Quentin Tarantino movies and then rewriting the movie to fit the superhero. So I did Reservoir Dogs, but if it was the Justice League, and then rewrote the whole movie and then just spewed it onto the microphone. I don't know how entertaining it's going to be. You have to be a super fan of both superheroes.
Yeah, to really understand like the nuances.
Kane, I'm really figuring out your brand right now.
Please don't brand me.
But that's what. Yeah, this is real specific. I love how that's what a nerd is, right? When you're passionate about something.
Yeah. And so that's the whole idea of the show. We'll take whatever. Like we had a guy on. His name's Willie Mack, another comic. Really funny dude, but he's huge into real estate investment. And I didn't see that coming at all. So we had to like dig deep trying to find like mortgage laws and like refinancing and all the like equity, all this stuff that we don't know anything about, learn it, discuss it, and then quiz him on it. And that was the toughest one because we're like delivering the quiz and then we look up at him and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like your question makes zero sense. And then he goes, that's not right. And then and that's the whole point of the show too. He actuallys us. He's like, well, actually, here's the blah, 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 blah. And that's where the show gets.
And did this podcast come about because of your bit?
Yes.
Well, actually, yes,
Yeah.
He's got a bit about, I won't obviously butcher your bit, but
I will be doing it at the...
Hey, there you go.
At the Ice House in
the Ice House.
Pasadena on
March 20
Friday at what time?
Sunday.
Sunday.
March 24th, 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock.
Sunday, March 24th.
Two different sets. So if you wanted to get tickets to both, you could, and it's two different shows.
Double header.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now,
cool.
so now for the Patreon, what are you doing like solo stuff where you...
So what we do is there's a $5 tier where you get it's $5 every month and you get bonus material, and it's just bonus episodes like the superheroes in Tarantino movies or whatever. You can also let us know what bonus episode you wanted to hear from, and you can hit it up at the Well Actually Pod Gmail. Then there's the $25 one where you get a Well Actually shirt, bonus material, and you can also, and then, so there's that one, the shirt, bonus material. Next one is the hoodie, bonus episodes, but then also craft your own episode where you tell me what you like, but you also give us the questions. You pick which one of us is taking the quiz, and you pick which one of us is the quiz master, and you get a hoodie and a shirt. And then there's the everything box. Now this one takes some time to prepare. Holly makes custom nerd shoes. Like you tell her what you want painted on Vans, what your size is, and she'll do that.
Cool.
I make a custom art piece.
Of Kelsey, you just draw Kelsey.
Yeah, I just draw Kelsey with armpit hair, and then you get that, and it says "well" actually on it. But yeah, if you tell me what your nerd thing is, and I'll draw it, and or I make you into that thing, whatever it is, and then you get that Tommy prize, whatever it is that he wants to bring. It's always a surprise. Hoodie, shirt, and then you get the bonus episodes. And
what's that price point?
That's $300.
But that's what's great. That's what's great is that some people have fuck you money.
Yeah.
And like why? And so it's not a problem to ask for it. Like someone mentioned to us that we should have $1,000 tier.
Yeah.
They just have $1,000 tier. And it's like, well, we don't. I mean, our top tier is like $50, and it's the soap. So because we over the fall for Christmas, we sold hundreds of dollars worth of soap. Like people wanted it, and then my thing, it's like, look. If you want the soap, we're gonna, Mother's Day's around the corner. We'll do a Mother's Day soap. Do it for that month, and then kick back down to a lower tier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't drive me crazy. I don't need to be sending you soap every month. Like,
well, that's what
I mean?
that's essentially like the thing too. Is like I didn't expect anybody to do it, especially not right away. But I put the Patreon up, then I promoted it on the podcast, and then one guy bought it. He got the everything box that day.
No shit.
Then we made it. Shipped it off to him.
Were you like, oh shit, we should have been a higher price?
Then we shipped it off to him, and then he just took the 300 tier and he dropped down to the 5.
Awesome.
So he's like, well, now I'll just get bonus episodes every month.
How good did it feel to get the Patreon email?
Dude, it's amazing.
I tell Tasha, I went up to her the other night and I was like, it was like midnight. I was like getting ready for bed. I was like, I hate receiving news like this late at night. And she goes, what? And I go, $12. It's an awesome feeling.
It really is nice.
And you're like, these are people I didn't even know. A couple of them came to the show today that are Patreon people, and you go, "What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, really? You created an account and probably downloaded the app to like support us?
Yeah.
Like, you do realize that over time, that money really does help not do." That helps us turn down the gig we don't want to have to do, so we can keep doing the things that we're better at. Like you mentioned,
it's just really cool. It is. It's like a little affirmation for you. Like it's such a cool way to support.
Yeah, and you mentioned just do what you love, and then when you here's a good example. I played baseball my whole life.
Me too.
I played baseball my whole life. Never. Got cut from college. I try to try out and make the fall team cut, whatever. No big deal, still play. But on 2 nights ago, I got to play in a pilot. I got to just do background, and they were like, we need a pitcher. And I was like, I'm the guy. I'm your pitcher. But like 3 other guys were like, I'm the pitcher too. I'm a pitcher. And like we're like the Yankees farm system. We shot at USC. It's a full pilot, SAG, whatever. And so they were auditioning us. I haven't thrown yet this season. I'm on a team, but I haven't thrown yet this season. I'm kind of like a purist. I go slow, blah, blah, blah. But now we got like this 6'4" like dude who like was the like technical expert for like Pitch, the baseball show, and like Moneyball, and he's like Southern voice, and he's like, all right, we're gonna wing you because he's skeptical of everybody. And then it's me against these 2 other guys, and we're like auditioning and trying out to be the pitcher for the scene. And then this other guy, one was just a stunt man, and apparently he fucking sucked. And the coach guy, he's like, you hit 2 guys, you're out, you're done, we can't use you. Anyway, they used me. I had to throw like 100 pitches because over the course of the evening, throwing into like 1 in the morning, and it was awesome.
Dude, that's like 6 innings.
Yeah, well,
that's insane.
It was, yeah. I mean, but I didn't hit, and I only threw to 2 different guys. So it was just over and over, and then I didn't hit anybody, and I just threw strikes, and they bonused me out. They gave me like 2.5 times what the pay was supposed to be because I was able to help them efficiently get the shot. You know what I mean? Like, and like if say I kept on hitting the guy, that could have been a $10,000 issue because of crew, meal penalties, this and that, all the union shit. But I was like, oh, that's the first time. Because that's something I do well, that I love, that I was paid for, and I'm not pursuing. I'm well over the hill with baseball, but it was fun to like tell Tasha and just say it out loud, like I was paid to do something I love.
Yes,
and it's important to like remember that that's a possibility. A lot of people listen and they're like, I want to break into this and that, but like we just like flog ourselves with these limitations, and we go, oh, we can't do that, or it's there's so much shame and guilt, and you almost have to have nothing to lose to be able to pursue what you do. We have a podcast listener, my friend Nikki, who's running for Congress. She loves politics, and she's fucking fed up. She's running for Congress in her like little town outside of Boston. And it's like that's what it's not too late to like figure out what it is you're supposed to do. And if you're like an expert on nerd shit, or I've got a friend, a guy who was like expert, like he was really good at picking which movies would win Oscars. Mm-hmm. He became the podcast guy that gets to for Entertainment Weekly, that gets to interview every A-lister. and go to the red carpet events, and he's made all of his money off of being really good at knowing what wins Oscars. Like, and talk about
shit.
That was his brand. But like so like but like so yours is challenging people on their nerddom. Or that's
I also
something.
like. You say like people who don't want to pursue their dreams or they're too scared or put this limitations. I'll tell you why I do this, and I'm not completely 100% successful at stand up as I would like to be. Like, I get to do it, and I get to I get paid to do it, and I get to travel or whatever, but I'm not like a huge name. However, I would rather fail at this my whole life than just stop, because my dad was a guy who had ideas, and then all he did was put limitations on himself. So if you're sitting in your car listening to this right now and you're like, I can't do it or whatever, I've heard all of it. I've heard he was drafted to the Pirates farm team, and then he had me, and he told me that.
No pressure.
he told me.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, he just told me like, yeah, I had you, and I just figured I'd flush my dreams down the toilet.
Jeez.
So I was a reason he didn't follow his dreams. Then so he's working a job he hates, and then he decides, like, one day he's just like talking to me, and he goes, I would love to start a sports bar. I'm like, start a sports bar?
Yeah.
I can't start a sports bar. Like, why? Why'd you bring it up then? What'd you bring it up for? And he's like, there's just too much involved. Plus I'm old. He was 35. I'm 32 now. And he's like, I'm too old. I just can't do it. He would even get to it where he wouldn't work out. And his excuse for not wanting to work out is because I don't want to lose my neck. That was his actual excuse.
Wait,
I don't want
what?
to. Yeah, he thought that he's a fat guy. He's shorter than me, and he would say we'd be every woman in our life would be like, Marty, you got to lose weight. You got to lose weight, and he'd be like, you got to go work out. And he goes, if I work out, I'm going to lose my neck. In the same vein as like if he's pumping iron, it's like his whole body's going to collapse on himself. But what it is it's him just making up rules
for taking that step,
so he could just sit on the couch and be miserable. So I watched a man be miserable for 20 years. I just watched him sit there and do nothing and have dreams and then do nothing with those dreams. And then I was like, no.
That doesn't pay off.
Never.
Yeah.
And it's like,
there's no way that works out for you.
And the bitterness that you can form by
still to this day.
Yeah.
And you're like, I would much rather just continue to pursue this forever. And if I continue to fail, I fail, whatever. But I won't hate any of the decisions I've made. I'll have zero regrets deciding to pursue the thing I wanted to. It's like, this is what feels right to me.
And it's not even like you're pursuing it as if like a lot of the thing I hate about actors or just acting is that you're auditioning in these private rooms, and it's like you're out there performing to your audience already. So you're already you've already got the equity. You're shooting you're recording your album. Like, you've already got all that equity that might not pay you the big bucks yet, but it's all in your. It's more important than any, like, say you had $400,000 in your bank account. What you have as a stand-up comedian is more important than $400,000. I know you can say, oh yeah, but I gotta buy a house, yeah. But like, that all can be taken away from you. But like, short of like a serious brain injury, you're what you have is more important, and you take that with you versus some financial crisis or this or that. It's like you've got, you know what I mean? It's because Tasha, it's just like you were worried about like Kelsey's Tonight Show because you couldn't, it's like you don't control it, so you're like nervous for her.
Yeah,
Tasha's in some ways nervous for me because she sees comics that dick around LA and don't do shit, like those 55-year-old comedians who like are funny but they don't even, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I go, look, like there's plenty of people that can do stand up like as a party trick that like, do it to get laid or for the drugs or whatever, but like you got to like have faith that those of us that are on the right trajectory are like, we're going to take care of ourselves. We'll be okay. Kane, you're going to be like A-okay. You know what I mean? Like, right. You're like our friends like Jay Hollingsworth. It's like, I've got faith in these people that make me laugh, that are like good guys and good women that do stand up. Kelsey's already, Kelsey's killing it. You and Kelsey might be one of the funniest comedy couples in the world. I mean, look at it that way. Look at it that way. I mean, how many are there? I mean, there's Rich Voss and
Bonnie
McFarlane. Like, they're funny, but they're also like, way there. That's a different league. They're two generations generation behind us.
Sure.
I mean, who in our generation is in a relationship of stand-up comedians? I can't think of any other offhand. There's a couple. New York's got a couple. Louis J. Gomez and what's her face. There's a couple, but anyway.
My favorite power couple is Chrissy Teigen and yeah,
No.
John Legend.
John Legend.
We're talking.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
she's funny.
Yeah, she is funny. She's sassy.
I miss Jennifer Aniston and Pitt. I mean, do you remember that?
Yeah, they were a good couple, but I was on Team Angelina.
Sure, that makes sense. But she seems like insane.
Angelina?
And, yeah, she seems crazy.
Yeah.
So
is there a well actually for pop culture?
Yeah. Is that what you're into?
I've got some Matthew McConaughey knowledge that I could blow.
I would fucking love. So we're gonna do. What's the next book after Chamber of Secrets?
You got them all.
Hold on, I'm thinking.
Oh,
Sorry.
boy.
Oh boy, you're already
I
lost.
don't know. I'm
There's
already lost.
Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and then it's like
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban. Oh no, we have a guy coming on for Prisoner of Azkaban. What's the other book you like?
This
that's
is
your
crazy. This is
I don't
crazy
know.
that you're. I'm floored. Tasha never introduced me to this side of her. Of her. You know, I've never
I
watched
think
one of these
after
movies.
reading the books, like, I don't know, consecutively 7 or 8 times,
Sure.
it was time to put it down.
She went to Universal Studios and came back with like a cape and like it had like 12 butterbeers or wwhatever the fuck they drink.
Oh, butterbeer's delicious.
Butterbeer's so good.
I didn't like Harry Potter when I was a kid, and I grew up just not enjoy I don't know if you're the best movie in the series, in my opinion, is Deathly Hallows Part 1. I love it so much.
Did you see the latest Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald?
No.
You gotta see it.
Is it good?
Really good. Yeah, because it gets deep into like the history. Like if you're like extra Potter fan, and then you like want to know how everybody's connected and like who the previous generation was and who are the people that were around when Voldemort was around, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It's all of this backstory, and you get it, and it's got the same sort of like intrigue and suspense and violence and everything else that like sort of makes it a little more grown up. But you got that in Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald.
Okay. Yeah.
It was really good.
I just love I love learning about that. That's the other thing about the podcast too, is I like learning about other people's stuff that they really like, because I feel like sometimes I can be a little too close-minded when it comes to things, and then forcing myself to listen to other people talk about what they love the most, I think will open me up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really like anime, but Tommy loves anime. So then that makes me want, okay, well, show me something that I would like, or just show me what you like and let me see if I like it. And then we get to have this discussion about it. My favorite thing is just that, like learning about that. And I didn't like Harry Potter growing up. And then I was sort of like, whatever. I like Deathly Hallows, the rest of the movies, whatever. And then I started reading about J.K. Rowling. And now I'm like a huge fan of her.
She's a badass.
She's awesome.
Did you know she was homeless when she wrote the first Harry Potter?
And that's the shit that I'm talking about.
But was she homeless, or was it one of those like
welfare?
She had like she was destitute. She was so poor that she couldn't copy the manuscript to send one off.
Yeah.
So she typed out the entire book, 700 something pages, 2 times.
She's gonna be worth like $250 million, right?
And
on a typewriter.
Dude, and that's the thing I'm talking about right there, where it's like I'll watch my dad not go to the gym because he'll miss his neck, and JK is fucking
fat neck.
Dude, his fat.
She's taking care. She's a single mom.
She's a single.
She's a single mom. They're destitute.
Well, look, I wanted to give that generation a pass, but J.K. Rowling would be in the generation of your dad, right?
No,
but,
fuck that.
Some people come from that World War II parents, and like, as I look at like, there are limitations that our parents had to face, and we are the entrepreneurial generation. You can hit the button, you're like, all right, I don't need no podcast network. We got it. I figured it out. You can Google, and like that's the beauty, is we can just figure it out. So yeah, it's right. Like we need to, that's the secret. Just pursue what it is that makes you happy. It sounds, fuck healthcare, fuck all those. I mean, I know, but Tasha, I know you get nervous when you think about that, but please don't compare me to the 50 or 60-year-old dude who's like tells the same jokes 5 years in a row. You know what I mean? You did something stupid at Lake Tahoe, and I wrote a 7-minute joke about it. That's it.
I did something brave.
You should. I'm going to show you this video of her jumping out. The whole beach cheers for her. I showed it to her last night for the first time. She had never actually seen the video of this. It's anyway. But the point is that like just have a little faith in your boy. Like you take care of me now. You do your thing now, and then we'll get the Basset Hound Ranch and we'll figure it all out. Like it's all going to work itself out.
Is that what you guys are leading to? Living a life outside of the city?
Yeah, I would love to get out of LA.
Mm-hmm.
I love LA, but I'm cool also.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of things that are nice about it, but I feel like the closest I would want to live to LA is like Calabasas.
Sure.
Like if I didn't have to work in the city every day, I absolutely would not be here because I feel like there are plenty of pros. After the show, we got lunch at Cafe Gratitude, delicious gluten-free vegan food. Like, there's lots of good things about Los Angeles, but also there's like poop in our back alley. Human poop.
Yes.
Human poop in our back alley.
When the stain, when the poop stain is on the wall, it's human poop. Someone leaned against a wall and shit down a wall.
And like,
Several
that's just
spots.
not cool. And like, I don't want to have neighbors forever. And like, even if you buy your own place, like, am I allowed to get a pet pig, or does the city of Los Angeles have rules against that? I can't even have like a backyard without
Tasha
like an
wants,
apartment
like,
building,
pygmy
like
goats.
looking down on my backyard.
Yes.
Or like your neighbors are going to decide to build a high rise or whatever it is. There's just all these sorts of limitations. I feel like
I agree.
living in Los Angeles, and I want to be able to just like fuck off and not have anybody's aura touching me.
If this podcast was retweeted by the right people up above, if the algorithms kind of clicked in the right direction and we had that sort of national following, I really, really would just get an RV. Airstream with
if
an
I could
F-250.
quit my job, if I could retire.
Here's the thing: any place, if when the podcast following gets that size, which by the way, like the guys we fucked chicks, they're going to
have a big ass ranch in like Montana.
Yeah, have it wherever. Yeah, I mean it's there, and then you got the Airstream, but like with I just loved. I mean, my mom had one, and like they're just so cool. And if you got like a full size one, they have these the wall comes down, and you just have a patio. I just love the idea of being like, no, we're moving. Well, okay, we'll be all right. Well, we keep selling out this 99 seat theater in Nashville, so we'll just stay here for the next month, and then we're just going to move to the next. And then eventually you might get tired of that, and you kind of set up shop. But I just love the idea of like the nomadic lifestyle, but in a way that's like sort of like glamping. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to fucking sleep in my car, but
Well, you guys are definitely on the right track with this show because I mean, a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, can you put in a good word so I can be a guest on the show?" I love their show. I didn't even know he knew the show. Like,
nice,
especially in Los Angeles where you have you're aware of how many podcasts there are in the world, in the comedy community, and my buddy is like. I haven't known this guy that long. This guy you met at the show today, and he was like, "Oh, can you introduce me?"
They were very sweet.
Yeah,
they're really
can you
nice.
introduce me to them because I want to meet them and would love to talk about sex stuff and
that's
and
great.
He's a huge fan, and I'm like, "Fuck, he knows the show. That means you guys are onto something."
Well, it's crazy because like our numbers aren't crazy. They're not. But like probably 2 years ago, we were at a bowling alley, and some guy comes up to us. He goes, and we were with all of our friends, which was cool. And he's like, I listened to the podcast, and we're like, we got to get a photo. Get in here! Like it's the first time anyone ever like recognized us. Which was funny because it's like, come on, no one's recognized. No, it's just you know what I mean. But like,
I think that's the new gold standard. Like everybody comes here and thinks to themselves like, I gotta be fucking an A-list star, and it's like, no, you don't. The last thing.
Who wants to be an A-list star? That sounds like a nightmare.
It's awful. I don't see how it's fun for anybody. Anybody who's an A-list star, you're constantly being judged. You're in this type of light where
you can't go anywhere without getting your picture taken. Everybody wants to comment on your cellulite.
They'll take it away the second that they don't want you anymore.
Exactly. But the new gold standard has got to be Dan Cummins.
Yeah.
You know Dan Cummins?
Is he the time suck guy?
Yeah, dude.
I don't listen to his podcast, but I should.
It's amazing. I listened to the Casey Anthony one last night, and normally I don't listen to podcasts, but I was just playing. I had nothing to do and playing video games, and I'm like, I'm gonna listen. I'll listen and see what it's all about. It's amazing. But the guy has put himself in a situation where the show is paying the bills. The audience loves him. The show's incredible. But then he's like, I don't fucking need to live here. I don't even live in LA. I'm going to Idaho. I'm going to set up a nice place for my family. Big house. I got a lovely family, and I can just go on the road. when I need to make more money.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But the show makes him money. His stand-up makes him money. That's it. That's what he needs.
Because ideally, we love performing. I never want to have stand up. I never want to have to take jobs that I don't want to take. I'd rather, like, if you told me right now, Dave, okay, you'll never sell out more than 99 seats at a time, but you can do that 5 days a week. I'd go, deal.
Beautiful.
Done. I don't need theaters. The amount, you can own a very nice home and have a very nice living selling out 80 seats a night. That's great. It really is. I mean, when you break down the numbers, you see how much comedy clubs make off of comedians. It's insane.
Yeah.
And I heard Dane Cook talk about how, like, after he had like his $10 million stolen from his brother-in-law, whatever that financial thing, he was broke again, and he just went to comedy club. He went to like theaters, $75,000 for him to book the space because there were big theaters and arenas, but he would make $250,000 because he would fill them.
Right.
And so, like, once everyone was paid off, there's Tasha's. Is that you?
You have it over there somewhere.
Time for Tasha to kill her babies, her birth control babies. We'll get out of here. But the point is that currency is your fans, and I don't know, fans sound so stupid, but it's the audience that relates to you, and we're no strangers to like.
That's the thing about podcasting, though. That's the thing, is that like people get to come here and listen to us jibber jabber for an hour and a half a
Jibber
week.
jabber, I love it.
But it's like it's real and it's honest and it's not perfect and it's not filtered and it's not edited.
Mm-hmm.
It's relatable and it's a more authentic version of us than like the Instagram bikini photo.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's authentic, and
people-
that's why they're fans, because they are getting to know us and they can relate to us.
Which is better than any
They're
sort
more
of
like friends.
Well, some of those like super gimmicky podcasts, like I'm not just gonna read somebody the news. Like people, I'm sure they love the topics you talk about, but they also are invested in you.
Yeah.
And it's cool to think that someone might be happy when you succeed, and that's
Right.
in the end such an important part. But
and I also have people that elevate me up. Like I like you two guys. You guys have a great chemistry for your show, and I have Tommy and Holly. And if you guys end up listening to the show, follow them on Instagram. They're a great follow because Tommy's weird as fuck and Holly's really funny.
Holly seems like she's a badass.
Dude, Holly's the shit, and she's and they're both really funny. And Tommy just has this sort of air about him where I don't think he really knows what's going on, and he doesn't care enough. He doesn't care to try and prove that he knows what's going on. That's what I love most about him. He's just like, this is the amount of information I could retain, and these are the things I have to say about it. And he doesn't really like much of anything. But what's great about the two of them is they're just so open and willing to just hear and listen and whatever. And so having a good team to elevate you up helps motivate you to make good shit that people then want to go to the Patreon and pay for and shit like that. And so I really couldn't do my show, and Kelsey too. Kelsey's a big supporter of the things that I do. So when I'm like trying to get a tape ready or whatever, she's like, all right, well then come on the road with me and you can fucking open for me at the comedy clubs. And so, having a good team is always, and that's not even just for entertainment. That's just
that's just life advice.
Well, you get stuck in your head sometimes when you're doing shit on your own. Like, am I doing the right thing? Versus having somebody like, oh, that's funny, or like someone to bounce ideas.
You need someone to bounce something off of you to, like, even if you're just ideas, like you want to open a bar, you want to open a sports bar. Find
I mean, to your dad's credit, it is a daunting task.
Sure.
There is a lot involved.
He's a lazy idiot. To his credit, he's dumb.
But maybe if he had a buddy who was also into the idea, then it's like they can figure it out together, and it's teamwork, and it's having a cheerleader and like someone to help you find like the path.
Absolutely.
I called Tasha my cohort. I was like, oh, she's my co-host, but she's my cohort. And then I was like, I don't know what cohort really means. I looked it up, and one of the meanings was like an ancient Roman military unit. I was like, fuck yeah, we're going to battle together.
Yeah.
That's what a relationship is. It's a cohort. It's a pact. We're going to go fuck other people up. You know what I mean? We're in it. I got your back, you got mine. You flank left and whatever military term.
It's like Forrest Gump when they like lean up. I'll lean on you and you lean on me, and they're like sleeping, sitting up in the rain.
Yeah,
Tasha philosopher.
Philosopher.
Dude, we gotta get out of here. We're an hour and 41 minutes, so we should get out of here. We're cooking.
A long one.
Sunday, March 24th. Go see Kane Holloway.
7 and 9.
7 and 9. He's super funny.
Links at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Link for tickets are in my bio, and coolbeanscomedy.com/Kane Holloway. And the tickets are free.
There you go. Go support him. And while you're here, you're already on the podcast app. Go subscribe to his podcast, Well Actually.
Yeah.
And then when you have a free moment, you're doing laundry. Oh, I got a lot of laundry to do tomorrow. I listen to podcasts to do laundry. I just fucking, some weird shit. Yeah, get out there, put some of that nerdy shit on, whatever Gryffindor shit he's talking about.
Yeah, you got a bunch to listen to.
Maybe in the future, maybe if you're listening to this in the future, I've recorded a Matthew McConaughey episode where
I can't wait to have both of you on. For McConaughey excites the shit out of me.
I could talk to you about McConaughey shirtless movies I prefer. Fool's Gold. I could do an episode just on the first act of Fool's Gold, okay? I'll get into it with Matthew McConaughey. But you definitely get Tasha. She's fun. I love you haven't even brought up Harry Potter. That's the thing. It's like, I love baseball. I bring you to games. I teach you about splitters, things you don't care about. Teach me about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is a personal experience.
Yeah.
There's no teaching somebody Harry Potter.
Kelsey wants the same thing. You have to sit down and you got to just watch the first movie.
Okay.
You're going to...
And watching the movies is totally fine, but like the books, me, was like a transformational experience. Like seriously, I'm not joking. It got me through middle school and high school.
I completely understand. I know there's several women in my life that say the exact same thing. That it was
you fall in love with the characters.
Any good book you do that. Yeah, I hear you on that. Of course. Yeah. No, I do. Yeah, the Barrington Bears, they were my jam. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have like a long series that I really felt. You'd read like Dan Brown's books. You'd root for them. That's the shittiest probably novelist to mention because he's like the Walmart of whatever. Anyway, I understand your point. I'm trying to wrap it up and I'm rambling. Jabber jawing, is that what you call it?
Jibber jabbering.
Jibber jabber.
Speaks like a 1950s. She told me the other day I was flapping my gums. I was like, that gets the boner going.
Wow.
Flapping my gums.
Tasha, I love your what's the word?
Gumption?
Gumption. I like yes, I can't dude, I'm starting to like what is it about today,
dude? You've done several podcasts. Woo. We had a stand-up show. I've been sober, then drunk, then hungover. Now I think I'm sober again. We're gonna do Chinese food tonight.
So late. I can't believe
we really earned it though, because and again, people listening, fuck you. You'll listen to not fuck you to listeners, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like it's funny when you're listening to a podcast and they're wrapping up, but there's 40 minutes left. You ever listen to a podcast and you're like, they're wrapping it up, but
they're just having a good time.
That's when it's good when that part. I won't do that too, but that's when it's good when they're like, all right, we got to get out of here, and then some guy goes like, what, the flat Earth, and then it's like an hour left, and you're like, oh shit, they're about to get into something.
That's why I always end my show by making everybody sign off. Because I know we can do it too, especially when we get on really nerdy topics. So I'll just go, all right, Tommy, sign. I just cut the thing off because I'm like, it's too long. What, sign off, and then they have to think of a sign off on the fly. You want to do that now?
Oh, that's great. Should we do that now? Well, I want to promote the Patreon one more time. I'm going to post for free. This is what I love about Patreon is you can give away free posts. Mm-hmm. So I've been like blogging, just like some public things so people can see. So I'm going to give away a free video on the Patreon only of Tasha reading that we got featured on iTunes. It's probably a 20-second video. I'll put that on. Last week I put the video of my car accident because I just finally got my settlement from a car accident from 3 years ago. So I finally can share the video of it. So I put the video on, but
Are you sure you're allowed?
Fuck them. They can go fuck themselves. It's a surveillance video I have. And it's like the video of me watching like play-by-playing the accident as the lady's hitting me. But that's on the paid version. I was like, you got to pay $5 if you want to see me get hit by a car. But yeah, so like anyway, I don't know. I mean, we've got it was our first month of Patreon. We got 9 people first month.
Love it.
We decided we made postcards. They're coming in this week of us. Just like we're gonna send everyone, all new patrons get a postcard, and then there's a tier to get a monthly postcard, which is kind of nice. It's just an old-fashioned thing to do. But yeah, let's do the sign off thing, right?
Sure.
Sign off thing.
All right, so you lead it, and then do I have you sign off at the end?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. Okay. Dave, sign off.
Okay. Just question.
Yeah,
question.
Sure.
So, is it just like a goofy?
It's like folks? A little catchphrase that you have that you think of either off the top of your head if you've always wanted to sign the show off this way. And
like Al Roker. Like, here's what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Yes,
like one of those.
Yeah, or stay classy, San Diego. That kind of thing. So it's that kind of sign off. And to give you an idea, I've given it to Tommy 30 episodes in a row, and each time he just goes, that's his sign off. And it bugs the fucking shit out of me. He just does it every time because he knows it bugs me. But that's his sign off. And then Holly will do an impression. And she's very, very talented impressionist. And I have mine that I already do for the show.
Wait, can you go first?
I will
so we
go
can
first.
Get an idea. I'm
So
gonna
so
completely
Tasha's
fucking fail on this. I don't think on my feet.
I want Tasha going last. I don't want to follow her. Tasha's going last. All right,
Okay.
so we do Kane, then me, then Tasha.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm never going to give you up.
Well, have a sexy and safe week. That's so bad.
All right, Tasha. Blueberries and all.
Tasha Philosopher.
Tasha Philosopher.
Have a good night.
That's the one. Kane Holloway. Bye, everybody.
Oh, funny.
I really shit the bed on that.
No, me. I can't even have a conversation on my feet.